how this online course can be done by the teachers and the principals. So over to Lata Saji ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Please permit me to present my screen, sir.
Yeah, yes ma'am.
Good evening, all viewers, all stakeholders of CBSE. Cybersecurity is the most concerning aspect in today's world. The internet is a vast place without boundaries or jurisdiction. Infinite data flows each second from places that we cannot even imagine. With the technologies developing and cyber world expanding, new exploits are found out each second. The headlines which we often see are: invasive malware has taken over your device, infiltration has happened through backdoors by spyware, phone scams, phishing emails, the list is long. With the pandemic disrupting business and with remote working becoming a reality, cyber criminals have been busy exploiting vulnerabilities, and innovative cyber breaches are now heard of. The year 2020 saw some of the largest numbers of data breaches, irrespective of the modus operandi. This cybersecurity module aims to give an overview of cybersecurity threats and the precautionary measures that can be taken. It also throws light on safe internet usage from the perspective of children and generic users. Have a look at the screen. It's alarming. Let's look at the statistical front. According to Kaspersky's telemetry, when the world went into lockdown in March 2020, the total number of brute force attacks jumped from 93.1 million worldwide in February 2020 to 277.4 million in March 2020, a 197% increase. In July 2020, India recorded its highest number of attacks at 4.5 million. The total number of attacks recorded in India during Jan and February 2021 was around 15 million. According to a study by IBM Security, the average total cost of a data breach in India touched rupees 14 crore in 2020, which is an increase of 9.4% from last year. Cybersecurity is a shared responsibility. Everyone needs to know and work towards improving online safety and security for future generations. Shared responsibility in cybersecurity means holding everyone accountable for cybersecurity best practices. The more systems we secure, the more secure we all are. The entire course module is divided into 5 units, followed by an assessment based on these 5 units. Due to the enormity of the subject, I shall remain restricted to the essentials only. Unit 1 deals with an introduction to cyber safety. Unit 2 is about safe internet usage, which lists out the best practices for cyber safety. Unit 3 is a peep into the hazards on e-com platforms. Unit 4 is about social media and fake news, a walkthrough through the different forms of expressions in virtual communities. And Unit 5 deals with online class safety measures and awareness of general cyber law and cyber ethics. So this is the total structure of this cybersecurity module. Now the components of this unit. So this, as CBSE has been propagating, is a free for teachers module that can be taken by any teacher. I repeat, any teacher, regardless of their subject. This module sensitizes the learners using a toolkit which has a very concise PDF, and whatever could not be covered in the PDF has been included in video formats, because seeing is believing. And for those who are interested in knowing more, the links to the additional reading material have also been provided. Regarding the assessment, it will contain MCQs and a reflective question. The total course duration is planned for 5 hours. Learn at your own pace. 1 hour per unit. That is how it has been envisaged. Let me take you to Unit 1, which is about the introduction to cyber safety. I repeat, I will not be going into detail. I'm keeping it as it open for all learners to explore the cybersecurity module and learn more. The world has become a huge land of opportunities and threats. Countries across the globe are facing this new age threat in the internet space, where there is no restricted geographical jurisdiction. The crime would have been triggered in country X and the victim would have been in country Y. Developed nations around the world have understood the importance of cybersecurity, and huge fiscal and human resources are set aside for this purpose. Let's take a quick peep into this unit. This unit makes a reference to commonly used terms in the cyberspace. I would like to quickly skim through the essential terminologies. To begin with, what is a security breach? It is any incident that results in unauthorized access to computer data, applications, networks, or devices. And how does this happen? And how should one respond? All this is mentioned in this unit. Next is the term hacking. What is hacking? It is a process where someone explores methods for breaching defenses and exploiting the weakness in a computer system or network. There are different categories of hackers and the areas they specialize on, like hacking Bluetooth devices, email, self-driving cars, Wi-Fi, social media accounts, etc. Phishing is another topic that has been addressed. Phishing is a type of social engineering attack, often used to steal user data when an attacker sends a fraudulent or a spoofed message designed to trick a victim into revealing sensitive information. There is a lot of mention about this in the module. Also, there is a mention about some of the strategies used by them, phishing identification, prevention. All these has been capsuled very well in this unit. Child pornography, which is now referenced as CSAM, child sexual abuse material. The sudden rise in remote schooling has made it difficult for parents to manage their child's digital activity. Kids are online more frequently than many parents would actually want them to. Most parents can't always find the time to keep an eye on the child's digital activity. And this has become stressful for the parents too, to keep their kids safe. Just giving you a brief report of what Kaspersky has actually capsuled. Perban B, please. 73% of teenagers can't imagine life without a smartphone, and half of them take their phone to bed. 44% of the kids aged 8 to 16 are online constantly, with a preference for entertainment and social media apps. 40% of the children reveal sensitive information online, including their home address. A third of young people even lie about their age online. 37% of the kids have experienced online dangers, including bullying, financial threats, and inappropriate content being publicized. Online predators are lurking in cyberspace under fake profiles, trapping vulnerable children for sexual exploitation or for other abusive purposes. The ideal approach in the present scenario is that we, as teachers, parents, be educated and then empower our children so that they learn how to keep themselves safe. This unit touches upon CSAM intricacies and the role of parents to fight against online predators. Online gaming, the scams associated are on the rise. Now, since many of these games can be played online, players who cannot afford storage space, they look at online games as a good option. Some of these gaming platforms is so much in news nowadays because of siphoning of money, and even life loss reports are coming out. At this juncture, parents should realize what is more important. Is it the privacy of the child, or is it the security of the child? Moving to Unit 2, safe internet usage. As the name indicates, this unit highlights the relevance of security update and usage of updated antivirus. Safely accessing websites. It also contains an overview of adware, malware, and how to keep your data and your data safe, as well as using secure connections. Basic internet safety rules are highlighted. This gives an insight into what are the potential dangers on the internet and how to protect our devices and our data. What else are we going to see in this unit? It tells you all about how to keep sensitive data private. It also includes ways to identify a real website and a fake website. What is the importance of a strong password? What is a password manager? We hear so much of a two-factor authentication. What are the safety measures to take while using public Wi-Fi? And an overview of the most dreaded, the dark web. Isn't it interesting? Moving to Unit 3. Hazards on e-commerce platforms and digital financial infrastructure. Some of the commonly seen sales promo taglines, all of us have seen it. Jumbo sale, just 99, wallet grade immediately. These are some taglines that we see. These can be the beginning of suspected UPI frauds when transacting or shopping online. Linking credit or debit cards to online gaming portals and financial transactions on entertainment websites or mobile apps needs to be done with utmost care. Sharing phone numbers with strangers is also not as advisable. Why? Because your mobile wallets are linked to your phone numbers. So let's have a look at some of the hazards on the e-com platforms. These are the topics that we have visited, that has been covered. It is important to know the safe practices while making online transactions. Many Indian consumers are taking proactive steps to safeguard their data, but 2 in every 5 still feel it is impossible to protect their privacy of data. Or some say that I don't know how to do it. Some say this does not happen to me, it is not applicable for me. So, this unit brings to light an introduction to the e-com platform. The advantages and the disadvantages are highlighted. It also includes the risks and the protections and the precautions that needs to be taken. Identity theft, the most happening thing now. Identity theft happens when someone steals your personal information to commit a fraud. As per Norton Cyber Safety Insights report, identity theft is the biggest cyber security threat in India. Digital payment infrastructure, it has a lot to it, but we have categorized it, customized it in such a way that it is easy to understand for any teacher, regardless of their subjects. It also gives an outline of the digital payment infrastructure in terms of like the types of financial frauds. We have heard of UPI fraud, OTP fraud, loss of money through gaming apps, online shopping frauds, fraud using remote access software. The list is so much. Real-time case studies on online financial fraud under fictitious names are also included in this module, and they have been put across reasonably well. Preventive measures that we need to know, like enabling or disabling a transaction, setting transaction limits on amounts for different transaction types, like maybe an ATM card or a debit card, a POS transaction, internet banking, and of course, UPI transaction. A lot of frauds happens on UPI transaction. Unit 4, social media and fake news. There are a lot of privacy settings on social media. Not many of us are aware. So, this module has made it simple enough for you to understand what are the settings to be done when using social media. A proper list, a gist of it is included here. So, sharing is good, but in cyber world, it is risky. Sharing location, pictures, phone numbers, address, all these can put you into the risk of identity theft. What is social media? And what is the relevance of each platform? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages of social media? And how to stay safe on social media? These are some of the highlights which we have included in this unit of the module. Fake news is another point that has been included in this module. What is fake news? Fake news refers to stories that are fabricated to deliberately misinform or deceive readers. Good illustrations about how and which platform it spreads, the steps we can take to stop the spread of the fake news is all included here. And thanks to our cyber patrol heroes who nab those spreading fake news so quickly. I think pictures are speaking more than what I can say. Social media can negatively affect teens, distracting them, disrupting their sleep, and exposing them to bullying, rumor spreading, unrealistic views of other people's lives, and peer pressure. In this background, don't you think it's a good idea to think of a complete social media detox for the entire family, maybe once a week? We can all try that. The last unit, Unit 5, Online Class Safety Measures, Cyber Law and Cyber Ethics. Until we return to on-campus learning, this topic on virtual class and its safety measures is going to be of immense use, my dear teachers. Netiquette for students and teachers are outlined well here. The nuances of cyber law and cyber ethics is also fairly well visited. Online class safety measures. All of us are on online classes now. I'm not getting into details, but just something which will be useful for all. Online classrooms rules are defined and to be abided, both for the teacher as well as the student. All this has been listed out in the manual. The Google Meet platform, which many of us are using, is safe and secure. Here, the only way to join is via an invite code or a link. The safest option is to link the students' email IDs with the online class. This way, only the students whose IDs are registered will be directly allowed to enter into the meeting. But in spite of all the cybersecurity awareness done, we have heard of students sharing credentials given by the school to a third party. It is here the role of a true teacher comes. A lot about this is mentioned in this manual. Please do read it. What else is visited here? A good emphasis has been laid on cyber stalking and cyberbullying. Cyberbullying can lead to major changes in a student's behavior and academic performance. When I say cyberbullying, it includes actions like posting derogatory remarks, messages, intentionally excluding a child or a person from groups, body shaming, commenting about the physical appearance online about a person, fake profiles, trolling, etc. We have also made an attempt to have a quick look at the Indian IT Act, intellectual privacy rights, and plagiarism. But above all, we should respect what is called as cyber ethics. It takes years to build a reputation, but only a few minutes of a cyber incident to ruin it. Cyber law and cyber ethics. We don't expect all teachers to learn the laws all through, but the essentials we should know. The cyber law and its governance, knowledge of a lot of these tips and steps is needed at this point of time, both from the professional and your personal perspective. To mention a few, things like when and how to inform the cyber cell, how to file an FIR. If money siphoning has happened, inform the bank immediately. If credentials have been compromised, change your passwords immediately. Keep all evidences. Do not delete them as they will come to our rescue soon. Essentials of IPR, intellectual property rights, has also been included as a small topic under this to create an awareness. The cybersecurity is important as it is encompassing everything that it pertains to, that is for protecting our sensitive data, personal information, intellectual property, government, and industrial information system. A few of it you can see on the slide. These are the areas that it is visited upon. This is all about the units. Now, regarding the assessment component, I know it is going to be fun-filled. So after this fun-filled learning, it's time for assessment. Course material and assessment shall be available in the respective classrooms. Teachers can take the assessment only once by using their CBSE digital edu dot in ID. Assessments will be based on the content covered in the training modules. The course composition is a webinar of this type. We have 9 more ahead in 9 different languages, course material and assessment, which will be extended through the Google Classroom. The medium of the course material and assessment will be in English only. Each teacher participant, please note, join the classroom and take the assessment by using your CBSE digital edu.in ID, which is shared with schools by CBSE COE. The assessment link will be available in the respective classroom from 2nd August 2021. One participant can submit assessment only once. Most important, please fill in the assessment form carefully, especially with regard to the name and email ID. Any mistake done will reflect in the certificate too. Over to the certificate part. Certificates will be awarded to the participants on successful completion of the assessments, and participants can download their certificates from 6th of September 2021 from the CBSE training portal. I've just encapsulated all the points that you need to remember, the must see, must read things. Course material and assessment will be available in the respective classrooms. Link of the classrooms
अच्छा
will be changed when the cohort is filled. Participants are advised to join only one cohort and use the available current link at the time of joining.
ठीक है
The medium of course material and assessment will be in English only. Have a look at the important dates. 15th July, today, the link of the classrooms will be open. The assessment link will be available from 2nd August. 6th September, the downloading of the certificates will happen. To conclude, many people think cybersecurity is all about hacking into or breaking things. But cybersecurity is actually all about learning how technology and people work together. Quoting Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji's words, I dream of a digital India where cybersecurity becomes an integral part of our national security. Thank you. Yes, sir. Sir, audio.
Dear participants, thank you very much, Premlata Saji ma'am, for the beautiful presentation. I'm
Thank you.
sure this course will be beneficial to all the teachers and principals to understand all kind of aspect of cybersecurity and to safeguard not only their own institutions, to safeguard their personal information also, personal gadgets also. Now, I must congratulate the entire team for beautifully designing the course in such a way
Thank you, sir.
that that within a 5 hours of time you can understand each and every aspect, and time to time all the upgradation values, all the upgradation data will be updated in the manual. Now, coming forward to the next, we have a observer with us, Miss Sunanda Murli ma'am. So I will request whatever actually questions comes in your mind, you can ask from the resource person, uh, so that all the queries can be resolved. We are also expecting our chairman sir to join this session uh, shortly, and whenever he is joining, I will intimate all of
Sure,
you.
sir. Sure,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you very much, Manish sir. And thank you very much, Premlata ma'am, for this informative and beautiful session.
Thank you,
My,
ma'am.
my first question to you, ma'am, is as a teacher, how do I educate students about cybersecurity?
Perfect question, ma'am. Let me just start off with a often heard phrase. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for lifetime. So, as teachers, let's sensitize children for a lifetime on these life skills. Teach them the necessary security skills. Gamify learning. The best approach in the present times. This is what? Gamifying, learning everything through games. Provide a platform for students to learn, share, and apply what they learned. Recognize the talents that they can use in cybersecurity. Remind them not to post anything which may come back to them later, which can haunt them later. Encourage children to join boot camps. And of course, update them on real world scenarios and examples because there is nothing to beat real life case studies. Ma'am, we have included all this, a detailed description about all this in Unit 5, which gives a detailed description of role of school in cyber safety. We hope teachers will have a look at it.
Thank you, ma'am. My next question to you would be, what steps, being a principal of a school, what steps should the school administration take to prevent cyberbullying in school?
It's an absolutely relevant question in the present scenario. What I personally feel is that put cyberbullying in the spotlight in your classroom and discuss the psychological and the legal ramifications. The admin and the IT team should be updated on the latest technologies and supervise the usage of on campus computers, that is, the labs, the computer labs, library, etc., where the students have access. And teach students it's okay to report an abuse. There should be no hesitation. And set up an anonymous reporting system. In my school, students and teachers are told to report to any cyber issues to an email ID which we have kept aside for them. And with the help of cyber experts, many of the issues we were able to resolve. So from my experience, I have found that good. Encourage active student participation in decision making, very important. It can help to know their viewpoints. And many a time, it even gives us clues to any kind of crime history which has happened. Finding the right response. It should not be all about punishment. Punishment does not work. So those who bully need to understand the impact of their action. And they can often benefit from counseling. Counseling works. Maybe it had happened at some point of time. Offer counseling services not only to the victim, but also to the perpetrators. As an admin, you should also know which are the community resources which you would need in these aspects, like counselors, cyber experts, law enforcement. Keep a couple of numbers handy. During these desperate times, it may become useful. In Unit 2, actually, we have included a topic called causes, effects, symptoms, and helplines in connection with cyberbullying. It's fairly well described. And during these troubled times, the mental health of the children are of prime importance. That's it, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I think I've got a great few tips from this particular answer. Now, at the outset of the session, as Manish sir and Saha sir had very correctly said, because of online classes these days, parents also have a great responsibility there.
True, true.
So we are now hearing every day about social media threats, online gaming incidents, especially now that the students have got the mobiles in their hands. What advice can the school give the parents?
So for this, what we have done is actually the answer to your question is included in our unit 1 of the cybersecurity manual. So in general, there are 3 categories of threat that children will face when they go online. Okay, the first category will be strangers. So predators lurk or catfish, we call it as catfishing on social media and online game sites to attract children with poor security. And they may trick the children into sharing passwords and even payment details. The second category is peers, the peer group. Cyberbullying in social media and messaging apps, this causes a lot of distress to children. And not many of this gets surfaced also. The third category is the child himself. Now, how the child himself? Why do we think I'm saying that? Unsupervised children are at risk online. They become victims of clickjacking or binge watching. That is, we see a link, you tend to click on it. That link takes you to something else. And then the chain goes. And eventually they get caught by some fishers who might also be out there binge watching. So my message to children should be that they should keep strong passwords, never share credentials, tell them that it is just like your toothbrush, which is not to be shared. Be careful about plugins, which can cause malware attacks. And periodically, you watch out for scams. How? By self-Googling. Type your name, press the enter key. Use multi-factor authentication. Avoid using public Wi-Fi networks as they are often less secure. Install firewall, and updated antivirus. And mails and messages from unknowns not to be responded. Give them the message that if it is looking very good and attractive and too good to be true, there definitely is going to be some bait for them. I hope I've answered your question, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Because recently, I think even I was clicking on to a Flipkart sale, which went one after the other. So
Correct.
these things are so relevant. If we are getting into things like this, it's so relevant for the students as well.
Exactly.
Madam, my next question to you would be, children, the scope of the career in cybersecurity in India, and what are the roles that it would offer?
Having listened to what I have already mentioned in the presentation which I did, you would have got to know the enormity. Now, NASSCOM reports that despite having the largest IT talent pool in the world, India lacks skilled security professionals. I repeat, skilled security professionals. In fact, the need for experienced professionals is so high that companies are willing to pay a premium salary of over rupees 1.5 to 4 crore for the top talent. So it is so attractive. And as per the information reported to and tracked by CERT-in is Indian Computer Emergency Response Team. Indian Computer Emergency Response Team. CERT-in reports that about 1,15,000 cyber attacks were reported every month. That means, looking at it, on an average, 3,137 cybersecurity related issues were reported every day during the year. NASSCOM has estimated that India alone will need about 1 million cybersecurity professionals by the end of 2021 to tackle the cybercrime dangers. So it is so much in demand. And regarding the second part of the question, ma'am, it's regarding the roles in cybersecurity. There are lots of roles ahead for them. The roles could be in terms of security specialist, security analyst, security administrator, security auditor, cyber forensic expert, vulnerability assessor, penetration assessor, tester, security engineer. The list is long. I just mentioned a few. We have included in Unit 5 a topic called cybersecurity as a career. We hope teachers will have a look at it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. It was a nice interaction, and all the queries have been beautifully answered.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sunanda, ma'am.
Thank
Now,
you very much.
we are very fortunate that with us we have Chairman CBSE Sri Manoj Ahuja sir, IAS. Now I request sir to please guide and motivate us, bless us, so that all the teacher community can be benefited from this online security